Unmute.
Hello?
Yep.
Hey, I've been on before, but last time I was on, this was I guess a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the cops are after you still, dude.
Yeah, I got interrupted by the police last time. So, I was talking last time about exorcisms and Catholicism. And I guess you brought up Deuteronomy and how there's kind of like, basically miracles aren't sufficient to validate a prophet.
Yeah, let me give an example. So I just read the Rosicrucian chapter in the Cambridge Companion to Western Mysticism and Esotericism, and the founder of Rosicrucianism claimed to be an incorruptible. So should I be a Rosicrucian?
The founder claimed to... No, I don't think... Well, I think the argument I was making took a little bit more development, and, to be fair, I didn't articulate it very well, and I guess I should probably formalize this and lay it out as premises to make it easier.
So wait, Sai Baba claimed to have a lot of miracles. Should I be a Hindu?
Well, it depends on the miracle.
So we just tack on more and more arbitrary. So how do we know that that's the thing that proves it?
Well, I think there's some miracles that are kind of like magic tricks, and there's other...
Oh, okay. You don't see how silly this is?
I don't think it is silly.
Right. I'm sure you don't. Yeah.
Because I think someone being freed from demonic oppression is intrinsically good.
You're missing the point, though, because while it's true that somebody being freed from that oppression is good, me hearing a bunch of different claims does in no way tell me which one's the right one.
Right, but I just in the instance in Deuteronomy, though, for example, that's an instance where the prophecy actually does come to pass, but because they lead them after other gods, they're still a false prophet, right?
Right.
So in that case, I'm just saying that that's an example of something that might appear miraculous that maybe isn't sufficient. I think there's other miracles.
So do you understand that you're basically just, every time there's a problem for that position, you're just qualifying it, saying that miracle doesn't count, or that sign or omen doesn't count. And you arbitrarily said, but this specific type of exorcism miracle is the one that proves it. That's all arbitrary, bro. Why?
I guess the way I came to this conclusion, this is actually how I became Catholic, not how I try to justify it looking back. And the reason it persuaded me anyway is because for me,
the bad arguments persuaded you, correct?
No one argued this. It was just me reading the Gospels. It convicted me because it seemed that Jesus believed that was very strong evidence and condemned the Pharisees for rejecting it. But
you're missing the point, though. The miracles attend to the true faith, but how do they necessarily prove the true faith when we're all in a position of hearing countless different miracle claims?
So, can I ask you, why would it have been wrong for the Pharisees to use your argument from Deuteronomy to reject Jesus since he claimed to be God?
Because that's why Jesus goes to great lengths to prove that he is not in contrast to anything in the Torah.
I don't...
Do you understand? Look, when Jesus, with the guy who's in Abraham's bosom, Jesus says, even if one rises from the dead, they won't believe. This refutes you. The very thing you claim, even more powerful than an exorcism, would be a resurrection. And Jesus says that even with a resurrection, they're not going to believe. Why? Because they have Moses and the prophets. And if they won't hear Moses and the prophets, they're not going to believe though one rise from the dead. That refutes your whole position. Now hold on. So in regard to Jesus' attitude to the Old Testament, he doesn't just do a miracle to say that, look, who cares about the Old Testament? Here's a bunch of miracles and signs and wonders. In fact, he actually criticizes everybody asking for miracles and signs and wonders because he says a faithless generation seeks signs and wonders. And he says the only thing that will be given to it is the sign of Jonah. Rather, he argues constantly that he is the fulfillment of the text, the prophecies. So he puts text and prophecy first and miracles second. You and all the other Roman Catholics put miracles first, and you miss the whole fallacy of why this doesn't work. And I asked you, I think last time, if the Coptics have Mary appear to thousands of people, why does that not prove Coptic theology?
Well, I just want to... I'll concede very quickly that doesn't, because there's something else I wanted to say. One of the fulfillments that Jesus brings is the miracles that he does.
We already dealt with this. Did you not hear what I said? Oh my gosh.
But Jesus predicts that his followers will do the very same things that he did.
Okay, again, none of that proves your position. Again, miracles attend to true faith, and there are signs of it, but they cannot be the thing itself that proves it.
I mean, I would say that it's an indication that your biblical objections to Catholicism or other maybe you should reconsider them.
No, that's just another dumb representation of your position. That's an even
Jesus
dumber
said,
argument of restatement of your position.
Well, because if the Pharisees, for example, they believed their interpretation was correct, and on that basis they reject Jesus. Jesus said, "You search the scriptures."
Did you not listen to anything that I said? When Jesus refutes the Pharisees, he says, "A wicked, adulterous generation seeks a sign, seeks the miracles, like you. And none will be given to it but the sign of Jonah," which was what? A thing in the Bible, in the text. Rather, he says that though one rise from the dead, they will not believe. They have Moses and the prophets. Don't you understand that refutes you?
Don't you remember in John 3, Nicodemus said, "We know that you are from God, because no man does the signs that you do unless God is with them."
Correct.
So they were.
So the signs are indicators. No. The signs are indicators that he has that divine power. But the thing that Jesus himself uses is not the signs and the wonders. In fact, he says that signs and wonders are a sign of weakness of faith. You've missed the whole point. A faithless generation seeks signs and wonders, and you want to tell me that that's the way that we prove Catholicism as signs and wonders. Oh, thanks for admitting that you're faithless.
No, I would say so. I would say that Jesus' words apply to like an atheist saying, "Give me a sign," or if I were to.
He's not talking to atheists. No, he's not talking. That's totally not true.
No, he's talking to Jews who reject him, who are demanding.
They're not atheists, exactly, not Jews.
I know. But here's the thing.
So the context doesn't matter now to prove your position.
No. My argument to you is not, Jay, prove orthodoxy by doing a sign. I'm not demanding that you give me a sign. I'm telling you that there's.
Of course, we're not saying that. Nobody. Again, that's irrelevant.
No, it's not, because
it is irrelevant.
That would be relevant. That would be me doing what the Jews were doing that Jesus condemned them for, is demanding a sign. But I'm not demanding a sign. Instead, I'm presenting the signs that the Catholic faith brings.
You're missing the whole point. It begs the question, because signs and wonders themselves don't have any meaning without the entire context of the paradigm. That's the point. You don't understand that?
I understand that, and I think that the context is Jesus predicted that those who believed in him would do the things that he did.
But that doesn't prove the position. You don't understand why.
I just don't think that it should be completely discounted.
I didn't discount it. I said that they attend the true faith. They cannot prove it.
But I think when you bring up Deuteronomy the way that you do, it seems that you're just trying to...
the way I do. How does Paul do it in Galatians 1?
In Galatians 1, well, there he says, if someone preaches a different gospel...
that's not all he says. That's not all he says. What does he say?
Yeah, he says, though we are an angel from heaven.
Yeah, so if an angel appears.
Right. Well, okay, so you believe that me distinguishing between something like an exorcism and an apparition is arbitrary, but could you articulate...
You're just picking and choosing the miracles and the signs and the wonders that you want, and you can't even tell me why those are the ones that actually prove it. It's arbitrary. Stop being arbitrary.
Wait, do you genuinely believe I never explained why I think that they're different? Can you...
The argument that you gave was arbitrary. And it rests on the thing that's in question. Because those are the miracles that the Ghostbusters in Rome have investigated and proven.
No, that's not the reason. It's because Jesus himself condemned the Pharisees and warned them about
blasphemy. That doesn't tell me that your criteria of the ones that count to prove Christianity, the miracles, and the ones that don't, is true.
But, okay, I would say that an angel that appears and preaches a false gospel to you is probably a demon. Would you agree?
That is the point. Correct.
Okay, but a demon cannot perform an exorcism, can it?
It's begging the question because, number one, we don't even know if it's a real exorcism. Are you able to go... Listen, dude, you're missing the whole point. Are you able to go and investigate every claim of the Roman Catholic Church to see if it really happened? No. So you have to take it on the claims. And the point is that if I'm in a position of hearing 1,000 different claims, whether it's Sai Baba or whether it's the Coptic Church in Egypt, look, all I have to do is tell you, why does Mary's apparition in Zaytun, Egypt not prove Coptic theology? Tell me why.
I haven't looked into that particular example. However,
because it disproves your whole dumb argument.
But well, here's the thing. Also, I'm more, and I think Catholicism is more ecumenical than you. I mean, yeah, we're more ecumenical than you are, right?
As if that proves anything. All that proves is that you're more wrong than we are.
No, it means that I'm open to. They're not with us, but they're casting out devils.
My position can admit that there's miracles and exorcisms that occur outside of the church. I just don't take that as a proof of which one is the true church, because what comes as the proof is, according to Deuteronomy 13, Deuteronomy 18, Galatians 1, the text and the message, not the signs and wonders. And you just bypass every time I quoted to you, a wicked and adulterous generation seeks a sign and a wonder. You argue that that's the thing that proves the true church.
Well, I think that it's a misapplication of that, and the.
How is it a misapplication?
Because the rising. Well, when it comes to the text about rising from the dead, the issue there is people neglecting the poor, not people differing on a.
No, again, that's not what the passage in part is about. The fact that the guy didn't help the poor, but he says, "If I rise from the dead, my brothers will believe." Jesus says, "Though one rise from the dead, they will not believe."
Right. Because
that refutes you.
But the issue is, do you think that the problem with the rich man was that he had errant theology, or that he was ignoring?
None of that has anything to do with the point about the miracle itself. You're just deflecting off into the moral of the parable, which is not primarily what we're talking about right now, which is, does a resurrection convince a person to believe?
Well, your tag argument.
Dude, now we're going to go to tag, because, again, you're missing the whole point. Now, listen.
I'm making an example.
Listen.
I'm giving an example.
Again, you understand the easiest way to refute this is Zaytun, Egypt, and that's why you keep going away from it. You don't want to talk about it. Thousands of people in Egypt. Thousands of people in Egypt claim that Mary appeared in Zaytun, Egypt over the Coptic Church. Why should I not be a Coptic?
Because
silence.
God can perform miracles in other churches.
But dude, are you like a 20 IQ? Seriously, because you just argued that Roman Catholicism is proven by these types of signs and wonders. Now you're saying God can perform the miracles at the Coptic Church, but it doesn't prove Coptic theology.
There's a few qualifiers, but
that's arbitrary. So now you get to tack on the things that. So in other words, miracles don't prove it. We need all this other stuff that's arbitrary from you.
This is unfortunate.
Exactly. I can't take it. Chaim Glick. Biscuit Head. No, we already did that one. Well, my church is true because it's more open. I accept the Muslim and the Jews and all the religions, so therefore our position is true.